All right. We back. Talking about Seahawks safety, Earl Thomas, and this incident. I'm not sure how many people know why this incident happened, and we're going to speak about it because the NFL just fined him for this incident. Some people asked me about it before, so I'm going to speak on it. Goodfellas Sports TV, we in the building, man. One time for the one time, all right? And like the video, subscribe, make sure you hit the like button. We're going to do what it do, all right? Okay, if you don't know, I think a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, Earl Thomas, Earl Thomas broke his leg, all right? And why that's significant, Earl Thomas was holding out. And he was holding out because he wanted a new contract all offseason, all right? He was, eventually they couldn't make a trade to the Dallas Cowboys. And also the Kansas City Chiefs was rumored to trade for him just the week he broke his legs a couple weeks. He fractured his leg a couple weeks ago. Didn't pull the trigger. I mean, he had an outstanding performance versus the Dallas Cowboys. He even had 2 unbelievable interceptions and took a bow for Jerry Jones, okay? But when he played the Arizona Cardinals the next week, he fractured his leg, and a lot of players from both teams came to, encourage him to keep going on. And, the reason why he put the middle finger up right here, okay, is because he did not get his money. And NFL, for people who don't know, the contracts are not guaranteed. Some of the money is guaranteed, but they're not fully guaranteed contracts like MLB or the NBA, okay? So he's in the final year of his deal. He was pressured to come back and play. His head coach apparently didn't fight for him to get a new contract. The GM didn't want to give him a new contract, and it wasn't like Seattle was pressing for money, because Cam Chancellor, his career is pretty much over with a neck injury. Cliff Averill had a neck injury. Richard Sherman, he moved on after his torn Achilles to the 49ers. And that was the Legion of Boom. Sheldon Richardson did not come back. And they just chose not to pay Earl Thomas. All Earl Thomas want to do is get paid and retire as a Seahawk or get traded. They chose to hold on to him. The Cowboys offered a second-round pick. They chose to hold Earl Thomas captive for whatever reason it was. Was it personal or whatever it was? But the NFL fined him $13,369 and added injury to insult right here. Added insult to injury. This is what they did. They fined him, for doing this. And I understand, emotions run high, but this man, fractured his leg, hurt his market value because you guys don't want to give guaranteed contracts. They don't want to, shorten the guaranteed contract up. He don't have any rights. The teams could have franchise tagged him if they wanted to and held on him for 2 more years. The NFL contracts are a joke. And on top of this, they still going to fine him over $13,000. Knowing that this situation is something they got to reconcile with the players. The CBA is coming up very, very soon. And it's something they can reconcile, okay? In my opinion, they can. They have to come correct. The players have to demand more. But at the end of the day, that's the story, Pete Carroll, the head coach, used to be the head coach at USC, said that, emotions run high. I can't believe, he's trying to still be the player coach. His job is over with anyway. He need to get ready to retire or go back to college, okay? Because when he didn't hand that ball off to Marshawn Lynch in the Super Bowl, and they chose to throw it and they got picked off, that team was done there. That team camaraderie was definitely killed that night. Split the team up. They no longer trusted Pete Carroll. He no longer had the best interest in the Seahawks, and the Seahawks players lost trust in him. Period. And right here, I can see if they had signed 2 players out the Legion of Boom, they still owe significant money, and they couldn't play Earl Thomas, then you weren't going to pay him. Why not trade him? The Seahawks are going nowhere fast this season. This was a legit power struggle. This was to show right here that this is what we going to do to you if you do this. We got all the power. In the NFL, the teams, the management, the coaches have way too much power. In the NBA, the players have all the power, all the leverage. Major League Baseball, the players have a lot of leverage and a lot of power. In the NFL, they have no leverage. And one of the most brutal and dangerous and lack of security in your future game. You got players that were Hall of Famers. like Deacon Jones. His pension was $250 a month. Eric Dickerson, pension, Hall of Fame running back. He said his pension was $2,500 a month. These are Hall of Famers. I know people that worked blue collar jobs, worked at the plant, and their pension was more than that, or comparable to what Eric Dickerson was making. And that's how the NFL treats their players like crap. And you still gonna find him 2 weeks later for 13 grand. You petty enough to find him for 13 grand, knowing the situation, knowing you have a big problem. See, look, that was water under the bridge with that protest stuff, okay? The slave mentality of the NFL with their players goes way deeper than that. From the contracts to the franchise tag, to the lack of security, the lack of I must honor my end of the contract, but the team doesn't have to honor their end of the contract. It's a joke. The NFL players, NFLPA Players Association, which is a joke. DeMaurice Smith, he's a joke. They is the worst union on this planet. The absolute worst union going. I can't believe players pay union dues, okay? And what they need to do is get somebody in there that's hard-nosed, okay? They need to put their money up to see, say, well, all their money, if you can't afford a property, you can't afford some assets, sell them off, okay? What they need to do is obliterate this NFL right now. Just completely wipe it clean, build the CBA from the ground up, and give the players more power. They need to demand more power. They need to build this from the ground up. From the contracts, maybe they can't be fully guaranteed. When they guarantee money up, the player should have an opt-out clause or something like that. Okay? If they're not going to give us 1 or 2 year guaranteed money, or maybe the guaranteed money should just be the length of the contract. Period. Or something. Obliterate, get rid of, abolish the franchise tag. That's another thing. When I'm a free agent, I deserve to be free. When I honor my contract, no, you can't hold on to me 1 or 2 or 3 more years, whatever it may be, the length of the franchise tag, how many times you can use it. No. You know what I'm saying? The players need to demand better. I remember it came a point, the shit was so bad, okay, with the NFL. It was at a point where Colin Kaepernick, and they've been messing with Colin Kaepernick, okay? I haven't even spoke on this before on this channel. But they've been messing with Colin Kaepernick, okay? Let me peep game. Colin Kaepernick, was wearing Beats by Dre's. They was finding him for wearing Beats by Dre's because the NFL had a endorsement with Bowles. So players were not allowed to wear Beats by Dre's on the field. We ain't talking about certain cleats. We ain't talking about negative or obscene languages on T-shirts. We not talking about none of that, okay? We talking about Beats by Dre's. They find Kaepernick every time he won Beats by Dre's, and that was the first time Colin Kaepernick kind of studied up on the NFL. See, they've been wanting to get at him, so they came to a reconciliation, about him just covering the B up on the Beats by Dre's headphones. So all the players that wanted to wear Beats while they warmed up had to cover the B up on the Beats to appease or make sure Bowles were happy with that. When have you heard something like that? I can't warm up with the headphones I want on. I have to wear with the NFL endorsement. What if I have an individual endorsement with Bowles? Individual endorsement with Beats or JVS or Skull Candy. And that's crazy. And that's how petty the NFL is. I remember, was it Isaac Bruce? Back in the day with the Rams, he wore his tights, and those tights are the little the little part of uniform that go from the shoes to the up to the knee, a little blue or whatever it may be. Okay, the ones that Earl Thomas got rolled down. He wore it 2 inches too low. The NFL fined him a couple grand. Back in the day, the NFL has been treating their players like slaves for too long, man. And they should be the generation that wants to rebuild the CBA in favor of the players. Should be in favor of the owner. Even the commissioner. They should be able to vote. Half the owners and half the players should be able to vote for the commissioner. It should be 50-50 on both sides. They give this man all this power just to abolish two-a-day in training camp. How ignorant was that? DeMaurice Smith needs to be smacked. Okay? He need to be smacked. For letting that happen. For letting these players cave and keeping the future of the players in the NFL murky. And so when they all retire and they getting these cheap $2,000 pensions when you made millions and millions and millions, in my rock voice, of dollars, and you really need to rely on that pension, your pension only $2,500, $3,000, $5,000. And the NFL is steadily banking money. They taking all the money that they find the players for and give it to charity. How about take that money that you find these players for, that you claim, quote unquote, when you guys were a non-profit, now they're a profit organization that Trump is president, okay? Why don't you take this non-guaranteed, these charities, and put it into the retirement fund for these players? See, the players wouldn't have to sue them over concussions from back in the day. They wouldn't have to sue the NFL for that. They wouldn't have to. If they was compensated, had better benefits, better insurance, and better pension, you wouldn't have to see these dudes getting sued and these families try to get every dollar from the NFL, because the NFL is greedy. The owners are greedy. It's the only major sport that I can think of that the owners got more power, significantly more power. I mean, it ain't even close. Significantly more power than the players. And on top of that, anytime they get an opportunity, they choke the players, they hem them up and show them who boss, and flex their muscles and grab their nuts and tell the players who boss. Any chance they get, they show the players that we boss. You just work here. This is our league. And they couldn't do what the players do. They couldn't go out there and deliver them hits, make those tackles. And at the end of the day, the players, I mean, if they're going to continue to take it, take it. But they want to change it. The time is changing now with the CBA about to expire. And they need to stand their ground. But it's Goodfellas Sports TV. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, man. Don't forget to check out our ever so growing playlist where we categorize our content from boxing to football, basketball, mixed martial arts playlist, women's boxing, current events. We got a hood stories playlist talking about different hood stories. So make sure y'all check us out, man. We on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as well. If you want to donate, all those links are in the description, donation link. My email if you want to do a business venture or a video collab, whatever it may be. Emails for business use only. You got a video request, you can DM me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Once again, those links in the description as well. Definitely appreciate you guys. We gone.